because they have very strong values that are more important than simply job security and a steady paycheck. For many entrepreneurs, their values are more important than money. They are passionate about their work, their mission, and love what they do. Many entrepreneurs will do their work even though there is no money. Rich Dad said, many employees are passionate about their work only as long as there is a paycheck. In this book, you will also learn about the 3 different types of money: competitive money, cooperative money, and spiritual money. 1. Competitive money is the type of money most people work for. They compete for jobs, promotions, pay raises, and against their business competition. 2. Cooperative money is achieved by networking instead of competing. In this book, you will find out how the Rich Dad Company expanded rapidly with very little money, simply by working for cooperative money. 3. A significant part of this book is dedicated to the mission of a business, the values. While we all know that there are many entrepreneurs who are opportunists, working only for competitive money, there are others who build a business on a strong mission, working for spiritual money, the best of all money. Different styles of management. There are 2 other points in the article that are refreshing, especially from a college professor. Howard Stevenson acknowledges that many people say that entrepreneurs are not good managers. Instead of agreeing with this commonly accepted point of view, he writes, "The entrepreneur is stereotyped as egocentric and idiosyncratic and thus unable to manage. However, although the managerial task is substantially different for the entrepreneur, the management skill is nonetheless essential." Right on, Howard. In other words, entrepreneurs manage people differently. The next point explains why there are differences in management style between entrepreneurs and employees. Know how to use other people's resources. The other point Stevenson makes correlates closely with his definition of an entrepreneur. The definition is, entrepreneurship is an approach to management that we define as follows: the pursuit of opportunity without regard to resources currently controlled. He states, entrepreneurs learn to use other people's resources well. This is what causes the difference in management style. Employees want to hire people so they can manage them. It puts them in direct control over them. They will do as they are told, or they are fired. This is why employee types want to build vertical hierarchies. They want the Prussian style of management. They want people to jump when they say jump. Since entrepreneurs are not necessarily managing employees, they need to manage people differently. Very simply put, entrepreneurs need to know how to manage other entrepreneurs. If you say jump to an entrepreneur, he or she usually responds with some rude comment or gesture. So entrepreneurs are not poor managers, as many people think. They simply have a very different management style because they are managing people they cannot tell what to do or fire. This difference in management style also explains why employee types work for competitive money, and entrepreneurs tend to work for cooperative money. Entrepreneurs looking for employees. Some of the more common complaints heard from new entrepreneurs are, "I can't find good employees," or "employees just don't want to work," or "all employees want is more money." This is a problem for a new entrepreneur with a confused management style. Management style is a matter of training. Again, compliments to Howard Stevenson, a college professor, for getting to the bare bones differences between entrepreneur and employee. Don't wait until all lights are green. Another reason many people are not as successful as they would like to be is fear. Often the fear of making mistakes or the fear of failing. There is another reason, also a fear, but it appears a little differently. These people disguise their fears by being perfectionists. They are waiting for all the stars to line up before starting their business. They want all the lights to be green before they will pull out of the driveway. When it comes to entrepreneurship, many of these people are still stuck in the driveway with their engine idling. 3 parts of a business deal. One of the best entrepreneurs I have ever known is a friend and business partner of mine. I have formed several companies with him, 3 that went public and have made us millions of dollars. He believes that there are 3 parts to putting a business deal together. 1. Finding the right people. 2. Finding the right opportunity. 3. Finding the money. He explained, rarely do all 3 pieces come together at the same time. Sometimes you have the people, but you do not have the deal or the money. Sometimes you have the money, but no deal or people. He also said, the most important job of an entrepreneur is to grab one piece and then begin to put the other 2 pieces together. That may take a week or it may take years, but if you have one piece, at least you've gotten started. In other words, an entrepreneur does not care if 2 out of 3 lights are red. In fact, an entrepreneur does not care if all 3 lights are red. Red lights do not prevent an entrepreneur from being an entrepreneur. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Have you ever noticed that software, such as Microsoft Windows, comes in different versions? That means they have improved their product and now want you to buy the better version. In other words, the first product they sold you was not perfect. They may have sold it to you knowing that it had flaws and bugs and needed to be improved. Many people fail to get to market because they are constantly perfecting their product. Like the person who was waiting for all the lights to be green, some entrepreneurs never get to market because they are looking for or working on perfecting their product or writing the perfect business plan. My rich dad often said, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Henry Ford said, thank God for my customers. They buy my products before they are perfected. In other words, entrepreneurs start and continue to improve themselves, their businesses, and their products. Many people will not start unless everything is perfect. That is why many of them never start. Knowing when to introduce a product into the marketplace is as much an art as it is a science. You may not want to wait for a product to be perfect. It may never be perfect. It just has to be good enough. It merely has to work well enough to be accepted in the marketplace. However, if the product is so flawed that it doesn't work for its intended purpose, or otherwise does not meet marketplace expectations or causes problems, it can be very difficult to reestablish credibility and a reputation for quality. One of the marks of a successful entrepreneur is being able to assess the expectations of the marketplace and know when to stop developing and start marketing. If the product is put on the market a little prematurely, then the entrepreneur can simply improve it and take steps to maintain goodwill in the marketplace. On the other hand, delay in introducing a product can mean opportunities irretrievably lost, a window of opportunity missed. For those of you who remember the early versions of Windows, you'll recall how frequently your computer crashed. There were some who said that Windows was so full of bugs that it should have come with a can of insecticide. If an automobile broke down as frequently as Windows did, it would not have been acceptable in the marketplace. In fact, the automobile would have been a lemon, and the manufacturer would have been forced to replace it. Windows, however, notwithstanding the bugs and the flaws, was phenomenally successful. Why was that? It filled a need in the marketplace and was not out of line with marketplace expectations. Microsoft recognized a window of opportunity and started marketing. If Microsoft had waited for Windows to be perfect, it still would not be in the marketplace. Street smarts versus school smarts. In martial arts, there is a saying that goes, "A cup that is full is useless. Only when a cup is empty is it useful." This is true for the entrepreneur. We have all heard people say, "Oh, I know all about that." Those are words coming from a person whose cup is full. Those are the words coming from a person who believes he or she knows all the answers. An entrepreneur cannot afford to know all the answers. Entrepreneurs know that they can never know all the answers. They know their success requires that their cup is always empty. To be successful as employees, people need to know the right answers. If they do not know the right answers, they may be fired or not promoted. Entrepreneurs do not need to know all the answers. All they need to know is who to call. That is what advisors are all about. Employees are often trained to be specialists. Simply said, a specialist is someone who knows a lot about a little. His or her cup must be full. Entrepreneurs need to be generalists. Simply said, a generalist is someone who knows a little about a lot. His or her cup is empty. People go to school to become specialists. People go to school to become an accountant, attorney, secretary, nurse, doctor,